Hello. Welcome to the 8th part of the I'll be taking a break for personal reasons. A special thanks to my channel members and Patreon for supporting me. And if you want to support, you can join my channel membership or Patreon for as low as $1. Thank you very much. Let's begin. At the beginning of this part, we see that Crocodile is about to grab Kong-woo. He activates Shield of Aegis. Crocodile gets ready to attack and says, "A stupid shield like that is no problem." Yuilshin appears there and says, "Why is there a crocodile in the bathroom?" He is really surprised and says, "You're..." Yuilshin punches him. Yuilshin asks, "Are you hurt anywhere?" Kong-woo says, "I'm okay, but that equipment can be bought only in the hunter shop. How could a monster have them?" Crocodile gets really angry and says, "You bastard, you're my mother's murderer? Are you perhaps Crocky's sibling?" He gets really angry and says, "I'll kill you and devour you to your very bones." Yuilshin says, "Really? That's so scary." Crocodile jumps toward Yuilshin really fast. He says, "Die. I shall avenge my mother." Yuilshin says, "You can take him on, right?" Sword Phantom starts to fight him. Sword Phantom gets excited and says, "Just leave it to me, Sword God. I will show you how much stronger I've gotten since last time." Yuilshin says, "As you should." He thinks, "I do wonder how much he's grown." Crocodile says, "You dare. I'll kill you too." Sword Phantom easily dodges his attacks. Crocodile says, "Little rat, you sure are fast at running away. But you're still nothing more than a mere human. Let's see how long you can run away from me." Yuilshin also hides behind Kong-woo's shield. Kong-woo says, "Are you sure he can do it on his own?" Yuilshin says, "Yeah, he might be a bit weak, but I'm sure he can manage." He did get better. Crocodile keeps swinging his sword and thinks, "This bastard. Why can't I get a hit in?" Sword Phantom hits him. Sword Phantom says, "What a shame. I could have chopped his face in two if it weren't for his helmet." Yuilshin yawns and says, "If starting to get bored over here, Sword Phantom, please hurry this up." Kong-woo is really surprised and thinks he's yawning in a situation like this. Plus, he's telling him to finish off a monster that looks to be double S-class. Sword Phantom releases his full power and says, "Yes, sir." Crocodile thinks, "Shit. I can't do anything despite my archenemy being right in front of me. I have no choice." Kong-woo says, "What is H6 doing all of a sudden?" Yuilshin thinks, "Does he have a thorn in his throat or something?" Yuilshin says, "What's that?" Crocodile brings out a bomb and says, "Let's all die together." Kong-woo is really surprised and says, "That's a magic bomb. Everyone, run. The entire hotel's gonna be blown away." Crocodile says, "It's too late," and press the trigger. He says, "Revenge for my mother." Yuilshin cuts his hand off. Yuilshin grabs the bomb. Kong-woo is really surprised and says, he just defeated a double S-class with a single attack. Sword Phantom says, "As expected of the Sword God. You've defeated the monster in just one attack. You've gotten even better. Congratulations, Sword God. I only beat a mere lizard." He thinks, "We managed to bring this one back from Africa. Out of all the 100, this was the only unhatched one. We're currently tracking down the rest of them." Yuilshin thinks, "So there are about 100 of these guys? It'll be dangerous if I don't do anything about them." Kong-woo says, "You? What are you?" Yuilshin thinks, "Is it because I killed the crocodile?" I can see what the question marks were now. Yuilshin says, "That's what I would like to ask you. What are you?" Kong-woo says, "What? What are you talking about?" Yuilshin says, "Regressor Kong-woo from the future." "How did you?" A system window appears, says, "Kong-woo, male human, 52 years old. Remark, blessed by guardians of fire and blacksmiths, and has regressed." System says, activating exclusive authority of blind God's eyes. Scanning through creator Hunter Kong-woo's history. Deep within the jungles of the Amazon, Empire's commander thinks, as expected of Gustav's children. They were all persuaded as soon as I mentioned revenge. They're going to be very useful. She says, "Open the hunter shop." Slaves. A hunter says, "Hunter shop. Open. This should do." She gets Celt Myth's hero Chillin's spear price, 50 million gold. She says, "What about this weapon, Alpha?" The leader of the crocodiles says, "My brother has died." He says, "Yuilshin, that bastard. First, he killed my mother, and now he's killed my brother. I can never forgive him. We need a lot more weapons to kill him, Arachne." Arachne says, "I can get you as many weapons as you need. I have a good plan." "A plan?" She says, "Yes. I know Yuilshin's critical weakness." After that we see Yuilshin asks, "Kong-woo, what are you?" Regressor Kong-woo from the future. Kong-woo is really surprised and says, "How did you?" He activates the exclusive authority of Blind God's Eye. Scanning through creator Hunter Kongwoo's history. Kongwoo was blessed by the guardian of fire and blacksmiths in his first life. Your world will soon fall because of the descent of the god of destruction. I will lend you my power, so try and stop him. Although it'll be impossible. He was given the power to open the hunter shop and to regress. He worked with other S-class hunters to protect Earth from Johann and Gustav, and seemed like the world had been saved. But they were met with pathetic deaths by the Three Heroes Society. He was able to remove all barriers on his second and third tries, but he was unable to prevent the Nether Dragon from ending the world. And he woke up again in his fourth life. Fate restoration successful. You now have 0 fate restorations left. Kongwoo says, I can't stop the end of the world no matter what I do. Let's just accept it. The end of the world. Yu Ilshin thinks, he's already experienced everything that I have yet to experience. So you tried to save the world and regressed again and again before giving up. Kongwoo says, how do you know that? Yu Ilshin says, I have an inspection skill. He thinks, this is the person. I've never met someone like this before in any of my lives. He stopped the descent of Johann's evil god and eliminated Gustav as well as the Three Heroes Society. And this energy, it's like when I met the guardian of fire and blacksmiths. If it's him, he might be able to do what I was unable to. Kongwoo says, you're a god, right? Yu Ilshin says, sorry. I mean, he's right but. Message popped up saying, follower quest grant Kongwoo's wish and shows him the omnipotence and omniscience of God. Quest reward, Kongwoo's faith. Yu Ilshin thinks, an S-class creation hunter's faith. That's a yes, of course. Yu Ilshin says, Kongwoo, do you have a wish perhaps? Kongwoo says, how did you? I have just one wish. It's to stop the end of the world. Could you do it? Yu Ilshin thinks, that's something I have to do anyway. Is this what it means to catch 2 birds with 1 stone? Yu Ilshin says, well, I'll try. I don't know how it'll turn out though. Kong says, your system says, Kongwoo is now your follower. Kongwoo is worth 10 S-classes. Yu Ilshin says, 10 S-classes? A regressor sure is different. But what's a temporary follower? A message popped up saying, if you stop the end of the world as Kongwoo wished, you can earn Kongwoo's genuine faith. The value is degraded when he is a temporary follower. Quest Intermediate Class Good God Promotion in Progress S-Class Possessing Transcendence Potential Follower 43 out of 100. Yu Ilshin thinks, it's a shame, but it's not something I can force. Let's think about this situation first. Yu Ilshin says, I got rid of Johann, Gustav, and the Three Heroes Society's evil gods. The next possible cause of the end of the world would be Gustav's children. Then, a lot of warning messages appear. He thinks, right now, a message window appears, a great evil god of twitching with the desire to take revenge on you. If you do not stop him, the world will end. Yu Ilshin thinks, a great evil god? Then it can't be the crocodiles. According to Kongwoo Hyung-nim's history, it must be the Empire's emperor, right? Yu Ilshin says, please find the baby crocodiles for me, Hyung. I have something else I have to do. Nagwoo says, yes, sir. Yu Ilshin says, you can just be casual with me. You're much older than me. Kongwoo says, I cannot do that. You're my only remaining hope and everything to me. Yu Ilshin thinks, I guess I should be glad that he's not a fanatic at least. I should focus on increasing the number of S-class followers first. Yu Ilshin says, by the way, you've gotten much better, huh? Sword Phantom says, it's all thanks to you. Yu Ilshin gives the heavenly demon to the Sword Phantom and says, take this. Practice with this sword for now. Sword Phantom says, isn't this the blade you use? Sword Phantom is really happy and says, to lend me such a precious blade when I'm so inferior. I am greatly honored that the unfathomable are God's favors. Yu Ilshin thinks he's watched way too many historical K-dramas. Please take good care of him. Heavenly demon. Yu Ilshin says, anyway, it's about time. Sword Phantom says, time for what? Yu Ilshin sees something and says, there. The 8th part of the I'll be taking a break for personal reasons ends here. If you want to see more, please subscribe and like. And if you want to support me financially, you can join my channel membership or Patreon only for $1. Patreon and Discord links are in the description if you want to support me. And a special thanks to all my patrons for supporting me. Thanks for watching.